welcome back to another video. And we're here today to talk about an SUV in my mind that has made a major comeback, one that was lost in the books after 2008 when the market crashed and a lot of car companies went bankrupt and a lot of them disappeared and never came back. Today we're going to talk about an SUV, and y'all already know what it is. So this is one of the SUVs that was part of the bankruptcy back in 2008 when we had the market crash and a lot of these car companies went bankrupt. They disappeared and never came back. You know, companies like Pontiac, Saab, we had a lot of them that just left. Saturn, there were a lot of them that just left and never came back. Well, this one actually made a comeback in 2020, and I think y'all know what I'm talking about. And this one came back in a big way. So without further ado, I'm gonna set y'all up on a tripod, and we about to check out what I got in store for you today. So this is one of the vehicles that made a comeback. It is the GMC Hummer EV. And I'm quite sure y'all are familiar with this truck right here because this truck has a lot of history behind it. Starting with the Hummer EVs not the Hummer EVs, I'm sorry. The Hummer H1s that were used as military vehicles. In short, they called them the Humvee. And these are very popular amongst the military, for uses in wars and things like that. So this truck has a lot of history behind it. So this particular company, Hummer, they went bankrupt and they kind of flipped when the market crashed, and them with a lot of other companies, as I was explaining, like Saab, Saturn, Pontiac, Oldsmobile. There were a lot of companies that went flop when in 2008. A lot of these companies didn't come back. And the crazy thing is that, we thought that we kind of knew that a lot of these weren't coming back. And so some of them tried to make the last stand, but to no avail. Some of them just couldn't make the cut. Like some of them tried to survive with these last few years, trying to make one last appearance with their one last model, trying to survive the best way that they could, but to no avail. It didn't work. Sales just wasn't cutting it, and they just had to cut a lot of these dealers loose, and a lot of these were under the GM umbrella. So you had Oldsmobile, you had Hummer, you had Oldsmobile. There were a lot of these, Saturn. You had a lot of these that were under the GM umbrella. And when that hit, there were just a lot of them that GM announced that, this is it. This is where all good things come to an end. And so Hummer just happened to be one of those brands that was under that cutoff period. They had, success when they first came out with the H2, which is a big bulky street pavement vehicle, reminiscent of the H1. It was wide, it was big, it was acting as king of the road because it was so big. And then you had the H3, which was a much smaller Hummer, but it still had the same capabilities. It just wasn't doing as much as would an H2, or similarly, it wouldn't be doing as much as the H1, which was the military vehicle. But later on in life, they decided that they wanted to do a civilian version of the H1, which was available for the public. Because believe it or not, these Hummers in the beginning were not for civilian use. They were only for military use only. And that's all they were actually made for at one point. But then they made the H1 for civilian use, and then they came up with a civilian version of it. So at that point, they felt like they could go a little further with it, and they came out with the H2, and then the H3 came out. Like I said, H3 is just a smaller version. If you didn't want anything big, but you wanted something of a nice size, but not too big like the H2. The H3 was also another option for you. But then, like all the other companies, Hummer just kind of went belly up, just like a lot of the other companies like Saturn and Oldsmobile and everything. And then you kind of got a period to where, everybody tried to make their last stand by coming out with one more vehicle, hoping that it would somehow save their respective brands, but to no avail. It wasn't enough. And so everything had to be done away with. And Hummer was just one of those companies that had to be done away with until now. And so we saw a resurgence of the Hummer, and it was unveiled in October of 2020 and April of 2021. So just to give you a little bit of the EV, which they have now, which is what you see in this picture here. So the EV is now all electric. So they brought the Hummer back, but they brought it back under the GMC name, and they brought it back as an electric vehicle. So that's all it is now. It's just an EV. And it's offered in two variants. First is the pickup portion, which is the one you see here in this picture, right here, the one I'm showing you right here in this video. And you have the SUV form, which is what you saw in the beginning when the video first rolled. You saw the red wagon that was presented when the video came on. So those are the two variants in which it comes in. So it also is very, very, very heavy SUV. This truck is damn near 10,000 pounds. It's probably one of among the heaviest consumer automobiles currently sold in the U.S. The mass and the size and acceleration, yeah, it has led to concerns about the dangers it poses to other road users in the event of collisions, as well as its efficiency and environmental impact. So it was assembled in Detroit, as you know. The batteries was produced by LG Chem in South Korea, with plans to later start producing batteries in the US. So the electric motor's torque profile makes it suited for towing trailers. Now, this Hummer EV can tow up to 7,500 pounds. Okay? And it seats 5. And there is 35.9 cubic feet of cargo space behind the rear seats. And 81 cubic feet if you want to fold the seats down. So that's how much it gives you. Now, the pickup variant has a longer wheelbase than the SUV itself. Now, the pickup has a 5-foot high load bed with a payload capacity of 1,300 pounds, as well as an 11.3 cubic foot front trunk. Okay, that's in the front. The front trunk on both models is also intended to store the 4 removable roof panels when needed, which they're talking about up here, up top, because you actually have 2 that's removed from here, and then you have 2 that you remove from here, which makes this, because this is not a whole piece, it's like a piece that it splits here in the middle, but you pull that part off and you pull this part off, but then you have 2 separate pieces here as well. So you got 4 pieces that comes off, and it goes right in the front here, which is actually supposed to be stored in the front in here. So it has 18 cameras installed, as well as front and rear pedestrian alerts designed to aid drivers' situational awareness. These accompany numerous other driver-assisted features, such as automatic braking and blind spot warnings. It weighs 4.5 short tons with the battery, weighing almost 3,000 pounds, with a gross vehicle weight rating of 10,400 pounds. It is classified as a Class 3 medium-duty truck in the United States. Okay? And as I stated before, GMC Hummer EV originates from the discontinued Hummer brand that was founded by AM General, the manufacturer of the original Humvee light military vehicle that was later adapted to civilian spec and sold to the public as the Hummer H1 in 1999. As the Hummer H1. But in 1999, General Motors purchased the rights to the Hummer name and began marketing as a full-fledged brand with a lineup that eventually included the Hummer H2 and H3. The Hummer brand was discontinued in 2010 following the General Motors bankruptcy. See? It followed what happened in 2008. It had a significant impact on everybody following that crash in 2008. You couldn't buy houses. Cars were hard to buy. See, a lot of these people tried to make their last stand a couple of years afterwards because they wanted to try to save their respective brands. And this was an effort to try to save the company being installed. People lost a lot of money. And when the market crashed, it has a very significant impact on a lot of people. The housing market, the auto market. I mean, it has a significant impact on everybody when the market crashes. So the thing is, people tried to make their last stands. These brands, Saturn, Saab, Oldsmobile, Pontiac, Hummer, they all tried to make their last stand at least a year or so afterwards to try to be able to come up with some way to save the company. But like I said, in an effort to try, it just wasn't enough. And a lot of these companies just went belly up and just didn't have enough to be able to save themselves. And so a lot of these discontinuations happened, and we never seen these companies come back again. Hummer, for some strange reason, just seemed to be the only one that made a comeback. But it came back as a GMC, and it came back as an all-electric vehicle. So, there you have it. Now, as we look at this model here, you could see that this one was specifically purchased in China. This is where I purchased this this Hummer EV from. And originally, when I bought it, it had like the crab logo on the side. It did have a crab logo on the top of the hood. But I removed it because I thought it looks really silly to have a crab on the side of it. Now, I'm quite sure y'all familiar with the Hummer doing the crab walk. And it does, you know, this thing where all four wheels turn in the same direction, and you can actually see the Hummer drive sideways, almost like the way a crab walks sideways. So it's doing actually what crabs do when they walk sideways. So all four wheels turn in the same direction, and the truck actually drives sideways. And that is a special feature on the Hummer EV. Now, they actually have that same feature now on the electric GMC Sierra. There's an electric GMC Sierra that now has the crab walk feature on it, where the four wheels does the same thing as the Hummer EV does. But this one in particular, as you see, it does have lights. And let me shut the doors so you kind of see what the front looks like here. And it does have all opening parts. The hood opens on it, and the back does open on it as well. I really like how this look. I really like the way they did this Hummer EV. You could see it also has the flag right there on the side of the truck. Now, I'm going to show you guys a short, like 10-second presentation with the various colors and the various ways you can actually get this, because this truck comes in different colors depending on which one you get. They all don't have the same colors. Some have different colors depending on which ones you buy. So what you're going to see in the presentation is that this one has 4 colors, and the wagon, which is the SUV version, has 4 colors as well. But then not only that, they also come in a different version too, where this one would come this way, where it has the open tops here. You can also get this to where this one is actually all closed right here, where this whole top is covered. Same thing for the wagon, The wagon can be purchased where it has the back part to it and it's open exactly like this here, or you can get the wagon where it's totally covered up. So you're going to see in the little clips that I show you um in a second, but these are the different variations, and you'll be able to see the actual colors that they come in and everything like that. So there's, I think there's one color that's off in one of them, because the wagon the wagon does not have all the same colors as the pickup. So the pickup has 4 colors, but one is off. I think the pickup has the green one, the yellow one, the white one, and the dark blue one. Where the SUV has the black one, the gray one, the yellow one, and the red one. You see, so the colors are not the same for the wagon and the SUV. They're definitely, the wagon and the pickup, they're not the same. So, show you this chart here. Now, this is a chart of where it was made. And as you can see, it's not really much to go off of with this Hummer. And as you can see, it doesn't really leave much to be desired as far as the specs and everything. You can see the brand names, Muwanzi. Not really much to get from this. Just basically showing you what the brand name is from the people who made this Hummer. And also, if you caught it, you can also see that this Hummer did not come with these wheels. Now, crazy story about this is that this Hummer actually came with the original wheels that you saw, or that you're going to see in the clips that I show in a second. But believe it or not, these wheels actually came off of a 118 junk car that I had. It was a junk car that I had that was just I was no longer using it. So I actually took the wheels off of that and put it on this Hummer, and they fit perfectly. I mean, because the Hummer is so big as a 124 that the wheels from a 118 scale literally fit on here. So that's pretty much how big this thing is. And they literally fit, and it does not have it has no rubbing. It doesn't rub. It rolls. Like, it has no interference. As you can see it from the back, they're pretty wide tires. If you look at it straight from here, let's check out the bottom. You see the bottom, there are no real marks. And so there's that one mark there, and I'm guessing that that's the mark of the brand called Muwanzi. And let's check out the interior. And as you can see, it has like specially colored seats, decorated seats. You can see it's got the gray on it. Center console with the gray. It's got the orange trim. Also, you can also see that on the dashboard as well, which is really nice. You can also see the navigation unit right there in the center console there. Let's check out the other side here, and you can see Let's get you closer. There you go. And now you can see the dashboard there with the digital gauge cluster. You can see the Hummer written on the steering wheel there in the center. So, yeah, they did a good job as far as the details and everything. And then you can see the details in the tail lights here with the H uh, nice and detailed in the tail lights. You see EV written right there. So all the EV names I kept on here. I just wanted to get rid of the crab thing. I just think that looked ridiculous on the car. You can see it says HEV there. And then there's the Hummer. You couldn't see it with the lights on, so you could actually see it says Hummer there. Now there are a lot of times where this V right here can be used as a U. I've seen on numerous occasions where people will use the V as a U. So that's normal. And you can see right there where it says GMC on the front. So you do know this is a GMC brand. And if you look in there, this is supposed to be the front, or what they call a front trunk. This is actually where the tops are supposed to go. Now, I know from first glance it doesn't look like this, but I'm quite sure the real model has a deeper space capacity in the front so that you can put your rooftops inside this area here. So I like this truck. It is really nice. I think they did an amazing job on this Hummer. I really like the way it looks. And they did a great job on this Hummer. As you can see, the lights do come on in the back. And you can see it says Hummer EV right there on the tailgate, as well as on the license plate. You can also see that they have a couple of what you call those things, you know, like if you're trying to pull something, you see it has I can't remember the name of these things here, but y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. It's used to pull something. If you know, if somebody gets stuck or something, you can pull them out, you know. And you can also see on the back, on each side of the license plate, that is, you know, where you can plug in, you know, like cords, like special cords and things like that. You know, like if you got cords to hook up lights or anything electrical or something like that, you can hook them up right here. You know, this is where your tow package would be, right here underneath in the center there. So overall, I think this Hummer EV is really, really nice. I do plan on getting the wagon too. I do like the wagon. The wagon is really nice. I think the wagon is nice. So I am going to get the wagon. So that I'm definitely shooting to get the wagon. I'm just trying to decide on which color I want to get. I'll probably shoot for the gray one. I do like the gray one. But enough of that. Let me show y'all the little 10-second clip here, which shows all the different colors and different variations that this Hummer actually has. And here it is here. So as you guys can see, you know, you can get this thing in different colors. Well, at least the colors that they offer and the different variations, so that you can get it just the way you know, want it, whether it be the wagon, whether it be the pickup, and the variation, whether you want it closed top, open top, you know. So that's what it is. So this is what you get, you know. And again, this is the GMC Hummer EV that I've presented to you guys today. And I hope you like this Hummer EV and the modifications I did as far as the wheels. You know, hopefully you can get one in your collection. And to all I say, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this video, and share it with people who share the same enthusiasm with you when it comes to these die-cast scale models, you know, because I have been a fan of these ever since I was a kid, and I'm just now living my dream of being able to collect them and being able to get what I want and to share it with you guys. And you can get into my mind and kind of see how I work my mojo as far as doing custom jobs to some of my scale models and things like that. So you kind of get to see where I'm coming from in a sense and know which direction I'm heading in, you know, because everybody's collection is different. And, you know, one person can't knock the other person by what they collect because that's what they like. So you kind of get to see what I have and what I present to you guys, and hopefully it inspires you maybe to buy one of your own, or maybe inspire you to go out your, you know, customary tradition and do something different. Maybe a custom here or a custom there, you know. Depends on how you're feeling and everything like that. But I'm gonna stop rambling to you guys, and I'm gonna let you go. And like I said, put down in the comments what you think about the GMC Hummer EV. And until next time, you guys, take care and God bless.